This is a discussion about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying when used as a debate topic. When you are using cyberbullying as a debate topic, you need to first consider the thesis. A thesis is a firm decision to do or not to do something. During debate over this thesis, you will either debate in favor of or against the statement of the thesis. In this case, the thesis is cyberbullying should be a criminal offense. Cyberbullying is simply the use of digital technologies to harm other people in a deliberate, repeated, or hostile manner. Cyberbullying has been on the rise with the increase in technology. While people gain confidence with this type of harassment, the bullying often escalates in a physical confrontation. A criminal offense refers to an act that's punishable by law. Criminal offenses in the United States fall under three basic classifications of offenses: felonies, misdemeanors, and infractions. During a debate, you must make certain that all of the evidence you have supports only the side of the thesis for which you are arguing. Are you debating on the pro side or on the con side? The pro side says cyberbullying should be a criminal defense, while the con side says cyberbullying should not be a criminal offense. When considering the pro side and the con side, you might look at all of the different topics that are listed on the screen. Let's look at anonymity. Think about how bullying occurs today. Bullying is occurring online rather than on the playground the way it used to occur. Cyberbullying is a unique threat with regard to anonymity. The internet attracts bullies because of their anonymity, and anonymity allows even the physically weak to bully. So this could be one argument that you could make, saying that cyberbullying should be made a criminal offense. Let's also look at the current laws. You might hear arguments that say prosecutors have no effective method of charging cyberbullying under current laws. Another argument might be with regard to depression. Cyberbullying often causes psychological problems, and victims of cyberbullying could easily become depressed. Another argument with regard to making cyberbullying a criminal offense would be with regard to dropouts. You might hear the argument that cyberbullying prevents learning, that it leads to absences from school, and that it leads to poor school performance, ultimately ending up and dropping out of school. You may hear other arguments with regard to education. Making cyberbullying a criminal offense will teach kids important lessons. Criminalizing cyberbullying provides a reason for teachers and parents to educate and discuss the importance of not engaging in cyberbullying. Education also reinforces new norms between students and how students should treat each other. You might hear arguments that say schools are not effective at stopping cyberbullying because they are sued if they try to stop it, mainly for exceeding authority off campus and outside of school. Other arguments are made with regard to enforcement. A cyberbullying law is easily enforceable, as cyberbullying always leaves a trail of evidence in the form of a digital footprint. Other arguments are made with regard to free speech. The point at which someone is actually being threatened is the point at which criminalizing bullying is not a violation of free speech. Criminalizing cyberbullying would not violate freedom of speech because cyberbullying constitutes intentional affliction of emotional distress. More arguments with regard to cyberbullying on the pro side comes in the form of morality. Some will argue that cyberbullying is morally reprehensible. The purpose of criminal law is to condemn morally outrageous acts such as murder, rape, and stealing, and many would argue that cyberbullying fits within this context. Others might argue in terms of physical harassment, that cyberbullying is usually accompanied by old-fashioned physical bullying done in person, and that cyberbullying often escalates in physical violence. Other arguments on the pro side include rehabilitation. Criminalizing cyberbullying rehabilitates, not just punishes. And criminalizing cyberbullying incapacitates delinquents from repeat offenses. Another argument might include something with regard to significance, that cyberbullying is a significant threat, that cyberbullying affects more than half of students, that there's a dramatic rise in children's use of the internet that has led to an increase in risky behaviors such as cyberstalking, cyberbullying, and sexting. And also significance with regard to the fact that bullying is on the rise. Other arguments on the pro side might fall in the category of suicide, which is also related to depression. Victims of cyberbullying commit suicide. There is one famous case about Megan Meyer, a 13-year-old who committed suicide after an exchange with a boy on MySpace. Do some research on Megan Meyer to see what you can find. Also on the pro side are arguments with regard to technological advances. Advances in technology make it easier for people to bully. Words like sexting or textual harassment didn't exist a few years ago. Now, even the physically weak can bully. But when we turn to the con side, we see other types of arguments that are equally as strong. The first one is with regard to alternative solutions. Some will say that there is no one-size-fits-all solution to cyberbullying. In fact, there is no silver bullet. Simply criminalizing would have little effect on cyberbullying. Education is more effective than criminalization. Schools are effective at stopping cyberbullying. Others will say that to combat the bully by not responding to posts or emails and not engaging in chat room exchange or ignoring the bully altogether is a better way to deal with it. Others will argue that we need more parental involvement. Also on the con side are arguments with regard to our current laws. Some will say that laws already exist that prohibit severe harassment and that cyberbullying would fall under this. They will also say that there is no need to duplicate current laws. They will also say that misdemeanors and juvenile delinquency for cyberbullying already exist. Also, with regard to arguments on the con side, is that of deterrence. Deterrence is the theory that criminal laws are passed with well-defined punishments to discourage individual criminal defendants from becoming repeat offenders and to discourage others in society from engaging in similar criminal activity. Anti-cyberbullying laws, in fact, would not deter cyberbullying. Cyberbullying legislation, some say, is reactionary rather than preventive. But let's move on to exaggeration on the con side. You will find many statistics on cyberbullying that says it's really just all exaggerated. All of the impacts and all of the harms from cyberbullying are inflated and not at all as bad as what people make them out. Other arguments are with regard to families. Cyberbullying often occurs within a family, and so some argue that criminalizing would tear apart families and send everybody to jail. There's also a statistic out there that says 30% of middle schoolers report online victimization from a non-parent family member. Other arguments on the con side are with regard to felonies. A felony is a crime that is serious enough to be punishable by death or imprisonment for up to a year. The argument is that criminalizing cyberbullying would make it a felony that would brand kids as criminals for life. Even though cyberbullying is not good behavior, some say, that does not mean it should be criminalized. They will also argue that a cyberbullying crime would send kids to federal prison, and do we really want that? Criminalization, they also say, would hinder the positive activities that kids do when they participate online. Other arguments on the con side include free speech. The vagueness of cyberbullying will result in free speech violations. Making cyberbullying a criminal offense could criminalize digital communication that's merely unpleasant. Do we really want to do that? Others say that regulating cyberbullying would violate constitutional rights of free speech due process. Still others say that cyberbullying has no clear definition. So how could we criminalize it if we're not really clear on exactly what it is? Others say that criminal penalties would deter many from exercising free speech rights. Another con argument comes in the form of money. Adding more crimes costs the government millions of dollars. Do we want to put one more crime in the legal system to have to go after? So in the end, you got to figure out which side are you debating. Are you on the pro side or are you on the con side? When you start doing your research, go through this list. It'll help you with your search terms when you're trying to figure out what type of information you're looking for. Good luck.